Well. That was an interesting kickabout, wasn't it? A very empty, quiet Celtic Park. A bit more fans than there was at the game. It's an interesting comment that James put up. First one, I mentioned the lad on a previous YouTube. I believe that Thomas Hatton should be a proper starter by the first team. He is a young player and a half. Do you know what? We've been saying that the B team is horrendous and the B team is not really producing. There's some players over the course of, it's always pre-season, and it will matter. It will depend on what the manager sees that they can bring to the game. When you look at the players that were in action today, there's a few of the young lads, that are doing not too bad. And I've got to say, Dane Murray. I know a lot of people don't like him, but I think that Dane Murray, he's not a bad player at all. He's not. I think that he's had a fantastic pre-season, and I hope that he's given the. We know he's not going to be first choice defender, right? Let's just put that out there right at the beginning. And yes, Nick Walsh was shocking. Celtic should have had a penalty. And yes, Gareth, Hatton is better than Tenetti. Very much so. Tenetti's too lightweight. Duran, Donovan, Forrest, Vickers all looked good. Carter Vickers, was he at fault for one of the goals? Could have been closer defending. Could have Kieran Tierney stopped the cross coming in the first place? It's pre-season. I'm not going to get overly excited about it. It does show that we need to progress as a team, because let's face it, that was a young Milan team that was out there. Milan, like all the Italian teams, managed to get the best players from around Europe at a young age to come over to their clubs, and it's something that Celtic really struggle with at the moment. But I tell you one thing, I'm not as depressed as I was earlier on in the week. I think now that we've got to the end of the pre-season game, there's a lot of positives to come out with the players that are here and now. And I don't want to criticise the likes of Kobe Donovan. I thought he's had a fantastic pre-season. Dane Murray, likewise, I think he's had a fantastic pre-season. He knows he's not going to be a number one defender. Kobe Donovan knows that he's not going to be a number one choice throughout the season. But the fact that they've had good pre-seasons, it sets them up well for the season ahead as backup. Some Celtic fans might not like that. Some Celtic fans may think it was all right. But anyway, Kieran says it was a decent game. The final score was Celtic 2. Celtic got 2 goals in the first half. First goal by Duran. 3 games and a goal for Camilo Duran at Celtic. He's getting off to a flyer. And Celtic are about to bring in Casper Ho to the club. I did give you an update earlier on. If you didn't watch the team news, Anthony Joseph did say that Casper Ho is coming in to Celtic this evening. He's flying in to get his medical today, which is all good news as far as I'm concerned. You meant McCardle. Somebody just said to me on Twitter, Baz, I apologise for the YouTube thing. I said I was looking forward to Hatton in the first team. He meant McCardle. I think that Hatton had a fantastic game. McCardle there, I think McCardle had a good game. Liam, I'm going to call you Liam Moaning Fisher. No Yang back yet. Yang's on a bender with his bird. Does our keeper understand the word punt? Oh, some negativity. Get in your comments. We'll try and get through as many comments as we can today. The defence needs to be looked at because we've conceded 8 goals in 4 games. I'm not too worried about the defence yet. Martin O'Neill knows that we need to bring in a quality defender. Who does the quality defender replace? Does he replace Cameron Carter-Vickers? Austin Trusty is not back in the country because he's still out for international holidays. He's out because he was only at the World Cup, finished up at the World Cup 2 weeks ago. I'm not overly concerned about it yet. I would like someone to be brought in to push, but then it's if you're bringing someone in, Liam Scales was brought in the second half. Scalesy does okay. He does fine. Look, we all know that we need players in. If you're bringing someone in for the defence, you've then got to look at, well, who are you dropping out? And I think that is the big one as I disappear into the ether. There we go. Just adjust that slightly. Baz, there's an interesting one from Scotty. But how you doing, mate? It's been a long summer. Just get that one. Baz, do you not think that Nidgren and Trusty are not playing, are lined up to be sold before Engels? No, because both were at the World Cup. Austin Trusty's still in America. He was in America yesterday, posting stuff on, I think it was his Instagram. Let me double check. He's still on holiday, mate. So no, I'm not thinking along those lines at all. Although some fans say it's always the same when is Austin Trusty. I'm going to, yes, 17 hours ago. So there we go. There, I'll get it on the screen for you. So I'll jump on the screen. This was Austin Trusty 17 hours ago in the good old USA. And there's Austin Trusty there. So I think that we could put that one to bed, that he's not getting played because he's getting sold. He's still on holiday. So I think everyone just needs to chill out a bit. Now people are saying, well, why is he still on holiday? Celtic are playing back in action next week. He's not had a holiday since the end of the season. He's entitled to at least a good couple of weeks break and being refreshed before he comes back to Celtic. So for me, for one, the fact that he's back in Philadelphia, place that he knows well, I think that stop being grumpy. They're only trying to cuddle in. Dog's being grumpy because the cat's trying to cuddle in through them. So anyway, yeah, Carmen Carter Vickers at the back. Austin Trusty's on holiday. I'm not overly worried about it. But to answer your question, Scott, do you think that Trusty is not playing because they've been lined up to be sold before Engels? No, is my answer. Hope you're good, mate. Anyway, hope you're good. Who's in Perth? Who cares? Tenecti and Balakwash need sold. Which probably have to give them away. Yes, Tenecti's upper body strength is null and void. I think that it was good to see Tenecti partaking in training throughout the summer. But sometimes a manager needs to pull players aside and say, look, you need to build up your upper body strength. He needs to toughen up. Pushed off the ball far too easily. And Tenecti's not going to, I can't see Tenecti improving as a player. When you go on about some of the younger players that have improved, I would say Dane Murray's improved over the course of pre-season. I think we're seeing a little bit more of what he can offer in a longer term. Not going to be a number one choice. Let's put that out there. He's not going to be a number one choice, but he has a lot to offer Celtic in stability, and you need stability at the club. Tony Ralston's done, if you ask me. Tony Ralston played that game today, and I think that Tony Ralston's playing like a player that knows he's just playing out the last year of his contract. It's only a pre-season. I may be looking into it too much. Maybe Tony was first game back after his heroics at the World Cup in America. There weren't any. It's maybe just that, because it was his first pre-season back and he wasn't putting in 110%. But there's one thing for sure, there is a lot of players due back. Drop Scales all day long. We need another left back. Great news about home. Only 2 signings so far. Fingers crossed. He pulled out to get... We need wide players, goalkeeper and left back. CCV caught sleeping for the second one for Milan. I think the ball kind of went over his head for the second one. Could he have got up head? Could he have jumped up to head of that ball? Could he got closer to the player? Could have Dane Murray got closer to the player? The player was in front of Dane Murray. Cameron Carter-Vickers should really have been 2 or 3 feet backwards towards more the middle of the goal. Like it's pre-season. Kieran Tierney should never allow the ball to get crossed in. So, I mean, we could blame Trusty for the second goal. It was a cracking header. You know, you're not going to take away from it, but I would say it's more the cross that came in the first instance. Defence Chronic, Tierney, and CCV will not be playing full games this season. Scales is to learn how to pass. Murray and Donovan. On both today on stats, our best and most active defenders. Well, there we go, big rab. I haven't even looked at the stats. I'm going to be honest. I'm just going on what I saw watching the game, and I thought that those two players have done well over the course of pre-season, and we'll take it at that. Where are we now? Has the bar deal, has the Buar deal collapsed? No, I've not heard anything. I think that we're still waiting to see what happens with that one. Just observing who played, I'd like to see Benji Negrin sold as quick as anything. I think that this year would maybe be the right year to sell Benji Negrin as long as we bring in someone else. Scales done more than CCV this match on the stats. CCV spent force at the moment. Ooh. And nobody wants Murray or Scales to start the opener against Dundee. Interesting. If any defenders are sold, it should be Scales. We need to get defenders in before we start selling defenders. Chris, good afternoon to you. It'll be evening, won't it? It'll be well into the evening for you. Players at the World Cup are entitled to a minimum of 3 weeks after the last game. Hell. Scales is banned for the first couple of games of the season. Yes, he is that. I wonder, last year we didn't have any friendlies pre-season, and previous years I can't think of any. How long are you allowed off? The man's on holiday. There we go. Chris answered it. You're allowed 3 weeks off, as they say. Low standards since 2012. Kalmak isn't good enough for Celtic. Well, there's a comment and a half, because I think that for what Callum brings to the club in Mr. Pointing, he was doing it today again. It suggests that the players aren't the players on the pitch are either not listening to the manager, or they're not playing the way that the manager wants them, and Kalmak's having to put over that. It means to me that there's no defence to Callum. He has some good moments. I would say that Rio Hatate played better when he came on than Callum McGregor. Just saying it. Alistair Johnston and Jota were pictured at the game today. Yang is also in the stand. So Jota is back in Glasgow. And that looks like Yang behind him and Alistair Johnston. Alistair Johnston with looking like bags under his eyes. So there you go. There is Jota. We know that he will be back in November, late October, November. Alistair Johnston, he's just back from Canada after his exertions at the World Cup also. So it's not as bad as what everyone thinks. There are players there, and that looks like Yang, that one there, I think. But I might be mistaken. Anyway, Hatate could play to his form. He would be one of his best players. Yes, this is true. This is very, very true. The sell of Benji Negrin and a bag of cans and Matt O'Reilly 2.0. I would sell Benji Negrin. I'll be honest. I know that he scored 20 odd goals last season in midfield, from midfield, and without Benji Negrin, we would not have scored. We would not have won the league. That's as simple as that. Without Benji Negrin, the league wouldn't have been won last year. But I think that Celtic need to strike while the iron is hot with that one. And if he's wanted by Spurs, let them have him. Good captain, mediocre midfielder at best. Yes, I pretty much agree with you on that one. I don't want Hatate no matter what, by the way. What's with KT's black armband the day? I have no idea. I can't stand it. when he starts pointing at players' bats, he just goes backwards and then makes mistakes. It's Calmac. They're not good listening to Baz, not the manager. It's very, very true. Anyway, let's get some stats up for the game because I haven't looked at the stats yet. A full-time score was Celtic 2, AC Milan 2. Celtic scored in the 11th minute with Camilo Duran closing down quick and getting the ball in the back of the net. That's what you want to see for him. 28th minute, James Forrest scored again. And may that continue into the season. I want Jamesy to get more than one goal. Francesco Camarada scored. 47 minutes, and Francesco scored in the 47th minute and the 52nd minute. When you look at the performance, it gives you the bench. Why is it not giving you the? It's just giving you the country. It's not the best stats. Let's see if we click on this one. And they're not giving you the stats on that. I need to go into another site. Anyway, let's leave that just now. Sebastian Tanetti isn't good enough, I would say. Sebastian Tanetti. Yeah, I said that last season. Too many passing back. Peter Grant did the very same. Peter Grant did the very same. And Peter Grant saying that he's a fan of passing the ball in front of players so that the players can run onto it. I said at the time, that's why Peter Grant was an absolute shit player. Modern day, you're wanting the players to get the ball right into feet. There was one time when I think it was, I don't know if it was young Hatton on the wing. Or was it McCardle? I can't remember. It was one of the young boys out in the wing, and the ball was, he was wanting the ball to his feet so they can get it and run, but the ball was passed in front of him. And Peter Grant was saying, yeah, he was caught on his heels. No, the boy was wanting the ball to his feet. It's as simple as that. And I think that that's something, you know, when you look at the way that AC Milan played, the big, tall, strong players, got a bit of physicality about them. They pass the ball to feet. Something that we have not done, something that we've not learned over the course of pre-season. It's just pass the ball right to somebody's feet. If somebody's wanting it at their feet, pass it to their feet. This passing in front, passing behind. It makes you wonder what they're really doing at training. I mean, if you're training for the games, you know, the coaching staff must be either saying pass it into the area so that the player can run on it. Well, the players don't need to be switched on. That's what's going to happen. You know that you're not going to get the ball to feet, so you're standing like that, and you know the ball's going to come that way, so you're ready to go. 2 yards in front of the opposing player that's trying to close you down. But he was in free space. And this is why I can't understand Peter Grant saying, oh yeah, I'm a fan of passing it into the space so the player can run onto it, so the player's already in speed. The player doesn't have control of the ball at that point. He's then having to run onto the ball and try and get control of the ball. If a player's like that, just give it to my feet so I've got the ball and then I can run. If he doesn't keep control of the ball, if he loses control of the ball, if he loses the ball, then give that player stick. But don't give the player stick for being stuck on his heels when he's shouting for the ball at his feet. Just back from the game, boys. Look good going forward, but the defence needs a bit of work. Sebastian Tanetti isn't good enough. I would sell him. He's 5, just beat St Johnstone on penalties. Who cares? It was McCardle. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain played it in front of him. So it was, Brian. It was McCardle. It was McCardle. Thank you for just said. How was the game? It wasn't too bad. We saw the Italians. The Italians are way better than Celtic. Let's just face it. Celtic put up a good fight. It was 2-2. Celtic were winning 2-0 at half time. There was a lot of positives to take out of it, but could Kieran Tierney stopped the cross going in for the second? I think so. But it's just pre-season. You know, these things hopefully will be all out our system the time that we get to August 18th, 19th, whenever the Champions League game is. Stephen, we're winning F all this side. The board have gutted the team out. Wee Hatton looked direct. I would like to see more of him, so would I. Casper Ho, he's going to want the ball into his feet, just like we were talking about. Yes. Good first half, okay second half. Yep, Brian, I would say that was a good reflection of the team. The team that started Sinisalo, Donovan, Carter Vickers, Murray, Kieran Tierney, McCowan, McGregor, Arnie Engels. Is he really thinking is he thinking that he's 1 foot out the door? I'm not too sure. James Forrest scores again. Tenecte is just not. He's not. I wasn't convinced with Tenecte last season. So I was impressed with him going away and doing fitness stuff during the summer. Yes, that's all fine, but I think that Tenecte needed to work on more than just his game and his passing. I think he needs to work on his upper body strength, but that's just me. Celtic's manager should. Where did that comment go? There we go. Celtic's manager should know passion, but be brave. It only falls on O'Neill, Maloney, and Fozzie. I don't even think it's about being brave. I think it's about what the Italians done well, and what all Italians done well is when Celtic have the ball, they defended in numbers. They're like a swarm of bees. They just all get back and just and then quick. They get back quick and then they get out quick. Do you know, there was a chance when young Osmond was on the edge of the box. Young Osmond's trying to get through 2 or 3 players, and they're all right on top of Osmond. Now, was the penalty a penalty? Callum Osmond, young Hatton tries to get the ball in, goes past a couple of Italians, gets down to the byline, tries to get it past the keeper. Keeper kind of fumbles it. Callum Osmond goes to get the ball and goes down. Now he's going away from goal. The referee turns around and says it's a free kick. Well, if it's a free kick, what's the free kick for? For diving, they should have booked a player then, Callum Osmond, but he never. Anyway, we're just kind of just picking at things now, aren't we? Pre-season is over. The next game for Celtic Football Club. Let me just see if there's anything else on Instagram. Obviously, Dyson Maeda. Oh, I'm going to cry at this. What the fuck? Wait the new. I'm going to put this on the screen so I could share this. The Dyson Maeda one. This is they bring him in a German car, a Mercedes, and then they show lots of Japanese stuff and a Japanese flag and Japanese, and you know, and then I'm putting socks and stuff on and his boots, and then they show the goldfish and stuff and Japan and tea. Celtic never introduce players like this, do they? I've got to give it to Ipswich. Come on, I didn't like it because it's Dyson and he was our player. But you've got to give that to Ipswich. You've got to. Do you know what I mean? That was quite good. Celtic TV's terrible, isn't it? World class at nothing. Wee Osmond was unlucky today. Yes, he was. He's another player? Does Wee Osmond? He's not wee. He's not wee at all. Callum. Does he need to build up his upper body strength? What was the crowd? There was the lower section of the north stand. There was the Celtic end, and I don't know what was on the main stand because the Celtic TV cameras didn't show us. No, not that I've noticed or saw. Celtic have a history of making young player look bad and keeping the player looking pish. Pish talk from Grant. This is very true. It's very true. I think that there's quite a few of the younger players that came through that were playing today that I, for one, would like to see a little bit more of. I know that maybe Martin O'Neill would want to see a little bit more of them. Will they be given game time throughout the season? I'm not too sure. Well, let's see what the Celtic fans are saying online. It ends our final pre-season match of this summer. And there's a picture of the players at the game today. Thomas Hatton looked very good. Just saw he's nearly 20 as well. If we think he has potential, we really need to develop him this season. That's a lot of people are pointing out Hatton, young Hatton. And Hatton looks promising. We should give him some more game time this season. It comes down to, do you know, at what point do you give a younger player game time? Who do you drop off the bench and must-win games to put on young Hatton? I think that he's got the potential that he could easily do it in the SPFL. Let's just say that young Hatton could easily do it in the SPFL. Throwing away a two-goal lead in 2 minutes. Good squad performance today. Celtic should have won. Shows what happens when you buy players. Duran influenced both goals. I feel the refereeing disgraceful. And this is why there was no Scottish referees at the World Cup. So, good back four. Ralston, Murray, Scales and Monty. Hatton looks great as a second winger. Donovan deserves a run. Osman, very good. Duran at the centre or left. Definitely need another 2 wingers, a left back, and a defensive midfield player. Need to sell Alistair Johnson, Arne Engels, or Benji Negrin, or all 3. They got some £50 million there. Winless in pre-season thanks to Nicholson and his social anxiety. I'm going to have to leave it at that because I'm not wanting any negativity in my mind for the rest of the day because I'm having a really good day actually. It has to be said. And I'm not sticking around much longer on YouTube. I'm just doing the half an hour. We have got 4 minutes left, so let's get in as much of the comments as we can. 2 up and the ref got involved. Nick Walsh getting the penalty against Celtic to speed it up already. Yes, that's him right up to speed, isn't it? Making up for apart from the 10-minute lack of concentration after half time, we look not too bad, but room for improvement. Lots of room for improvement, I would say. Celtic look good going forward. 1 touchdown, stop passing back. Apart from the 2 goals, we were the better side for most of the game. Milan were playing with a lot of young players, so I'm not going to say that we're better than Milan. That's for sure. Seen worse pre-season game. That's true. Still need around about 5 players, says David Castles. I think that we still need 10 players, personally. And some of those 10 players can be the likes of Hatton, McArdle. You know, I'm not saying that we need whole 10 fresh new players. Some of the players that come in could be younger players from Celtic. I'm just saying that the squad needs 10 players that weren't there last year. Hatton, McArdle, etc. They weren't nowhere near the squad last year. If they are the ones that are to be part of the 10 that's coming in, then so be it. And I wouldn't be too unhappy with that. Regressing, lying on kids, says Stephen Kelly. Ooh, I wonder if it would if they would have said that if a young Paul McStay had entered the field of play today, or a young Roy Aitken. First team shows interest in Benji Negrin. Yeah, I think it's Benji Negrin's a good time to sell him. What's going to happen with this season? Disallowed goals throw-in, be pulled up. Let's get that. We need Snoop Dogg. Yes. No, I don't have any contacts for Snoop Dogg. Yes. Baz manifesting. Today's a good day, mate. Yes, and I did say, didn't we? We had the conversation before the game that I thought it was going to be a good day, and it turned out it was because we ended up signing an £11 million player before we even spoke, before we knew it. Thomas Hatton in relation to Ricky Hatton. Let's hope not. Today's a good day. I agree. See me arriving tonight? No idea. 23,000 at Celtic Park today. Oh, I don't think it was as much as that. Was there? As much as 23,000? Where did that comment go out? There's loads of comments came in. Am I way behind? No. I was impressed by young Hatton. Young Hatton is better than Seb. There we go. A lot of people saying that. Miles better, says Liam Fisher. I liked Hatton and Ricardo. You've not seen a full minutes of Hatton, mate. Wouldn't go that far. I would certainly say that you need to have players like Hatton in and around the first team. There's no use putting the likes of Hatton away out on loan. We've done this with players in the past. You know, they get to this age and it's like, oh, we're going to put you out on loan to Admiral Wacker. And then look what happens. Nothing. We're going to put you to Preston North End or something like that. I think that you need the younger players. I would suggest that you need to keep them at the club and have them in and around the first team. It's just me. Anyway, quite a few of the young players that look like it's time for them to step up. Relying on kids. It's only pre-season friendly. You've got to give them a chance to play for foot. Keep Snoop Dogg away from my club, says Ollie. Moan about not giving youth players. And then now moaning about having them in the side. Jesus wept. It's a very Celtic thing, isn't it? And then when they get into the first team, they'll moan about them not being good enough. And they'll say, we're fucking shiting. The season's not even started yet. Bring on a week on a Monday. Yes, a week on Monday, Celtic start the season at home as we raise the flag again on a very weird opening day of the season. Celtic hopefully will have some more players in. But when we look back and we sit back and we look and we digest what's happened over this summer, not a lot. But when you look back at the way that we won the league last season, Celtic got off to a very, very weird season. It will be interesting because Martin O'Neill will sit down for the first press conference of the season next Friday. Let's look at that in full next week. Let's not try and get too excited about what's not happening or what may happen or who may or may not leave over the next week. Let's just have a little period of calm before the start of the season, because I want to save your blood pressure. And then let's contrast and compare the interview of Martin O'Neill next Friday to the interview of Brendan Rodgers. Because at this stage, Martin O'Neill is working his time. He's in the last season. He's only here for one season. At the same time, Brendan Rodgers was only here for one season. Brendan Rodgers made that interview all about his future. We know that Martin O'Neill is only here for 1 year. So how will the conversation go? It'll be good. I heard Snoop's good pals with Dr. Dre. Yeah. 23,000, more like 15 maybe. 20 at a push. This place was dead. Snoop Dogg, my ass, just another buffoon looking to make a name for himself from our support. Didn't he put money into a club down south? Just saying. Anyway, right, that is me done and dusted. Troop, the work starts now. I think Hatton looked brilliant. I hope we see more of him. A bag of cans now being drunk with a lovely wee chocolate bar full of weed. What? What happened to bringing kids through the? What happened to bringing kids through the academy to the? Yeah, now people are complaining about it. Exactly. Love your channel, but Grant's correct. Players should always want to pass in front of them. But all the top teams in Europe pass to feet. AC Milan were passing to feet. It's all about opinions. That's it. That's what it's called. The One Celtic Fans View. Hatton looks similar to Jota. Well, if he's anywhere near Jota's level, we're going to get 25 million for him. I've not seen anyone complaining about youth players. You need to go back up the chart, mate. Nearly takeaway and gin time here. Oh, I'm having steak tonight. Should I go out tonight? Or will I just fire up the barbecue and put that steak on it? I'll be cooking paella on the open fire tomorrow afternoon. Just thought I'd put that out there. It's my wee Sunday special. Anyway, welcome to Casper, the Great Dane. Enjoy the rest of your night, everyone. That gets the last comment of the evening. Have an absolutely fantastic evening, Celtic fans. We started the day complaining and worrying about not bringing in players. Then came the big news that Dyson Maida had left the club. Brought some of us almost to tears as we saw what Dyson wrote. But as we were reading it, and as Dyson Maida unleashed his Instagram and Twitter post, Celtic phoned Sky Sports and said, geez, guess what we've just did? We've just spent 11 million on Casper Ho, and guess what? He's on his way to Scotland tonight, and he'll pass his medical tomorrow, so we can parade him on Monday. It's all about taking control of the papers for the rest of the week as we head into the new season, where Celtic will raise the flag on Monday evening, the last game of the opening weekend of the SPFL. Don't get me started on that. Anyway, things are looking up. Have a fantastic